This is Algebra 1, Notes 1, 2, solving 1 and 2 step equations. When we solve equations, we will use the pattern, don't call me after midnight. This will help us remember what steps to do and in what order. Don't call me, the D stands for distribute, or in other words, multiply everything outside parentheses with everything inside. The C stands for combine like terms, and when we say combine like terms, we mean on each separate side of the equation, and you use whatever's in front to tell you what to do. For example, if you had 4x plus 3x, you would combine like terms. 4 plus 3 is 7x. M stands for move the variable to one side of the equation. So if we had 4x equals 2x plus 1, we would want to move this 2x to the other side of the equation by doing the inverse or opposite operation. A stands for add or subtract an integer, so moving our numbers, the numbers without variables, to the opposite side of the equation using the inverse operation. So for example, the opposite of plus is minus, and the opposite of minus is plus. And the last M stands for multiply or divide the coefficient. So we are getting that number that's right in front of the variable to go to the opposite side of the equation using the inverse operation. So for example, the opposite of multiplication, which looks something like this, 2x, that means multiplication. The opposite is to divide, and the opposite of division is to multiply. And when we see division, it would look something like this, x divided by 4. Number 1, our problem is 1/4 times a is equal to 16. So if I think through my steps, don't call me after midnight, I do not need to distribute because there are no parentheses. Combine like terms, there are no like terms on the left side, there are no like terms on the right side. Move the variable, I only see the variable in one place, so I don't need to move it. Add, subtract, there is no addition or subtraction. Multiply or divide, if I look at my equation here, I have 1/4 times a, and the opposite of multiplication is to divide. So I'm going to divide by 1/4 on both sides. And you could do this in your calculator. 16 divided by 1/4 gives us 64. So A is equal to 64. To check our work, we plug in our answer in parentheses anywhere we saw the variable. So this is where A was. We're going to put 64. So I can use my calculator to make sure that 1/4 times 64 is equal to 16. 1/4 times 64, and it does equal 16. So that tells me that we did this correctly. Take a look at number 2. M divided by 3 is equal to -5. There's no parentheses. I don't need to distribute. There are no like terms on the left side. There are no like terms on the right side, so we do not need to combine like terms. We only see the variable in one place, so we don't need to move the variable. I do not see any addition or subtraction, so my last, don't call me after midnight, multiply or divide. We have divided by 3, so the opposite is to multiply. So the opposite of dividing by 3 is to multiply by 3. This makes me cancel out, and if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. M is equal to -5 times 3 is -15. To check our work, anywhere where we saw the variable, we are going to put our answer in parentheses. So I have -15 divided by 3. Well, we know that negative divided by a positive gives us a negative, and 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. So we did this problem correctly. Number 3, there's a little more going on in this problem. 4d plus 8 is equal to negative 16. Going through my steps, don't call me after midnight. D stands for distribute. I don't see any parentheses, so I don't need to distribute. C stands for combine like terms. On the left side, 4d and 8, these are not like terms. And I see no like terms on the right side, so no combining. Don't call me after midnight. M stands for move the variable. I only see the variable in one place, only on one side of the equation, so we don't need to move the variable. Addition or subtraction. This time, I do see plus 8. So to get rid of that, the inverse operation is to subtract. So I subtract 8 on the left side. 8 minus 8 is 0. That cancels out. And I subtract 8 on the right side. I have to do it to both sides of the equation to keep everything balanced. I'm going to carry down. On the left, I have 4d equals negative 16 minus 8 is negative 24. We did our add subtract. Don't call me after midnight. Multiply or divide. I have 4d, which is multiplication. That's 4 times d, so the opposite is to divide. I'm going to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1d or just d, so it's like those cancel out. And I have to do it on the other side as well. Negative 24 divided by 4 gives me negative 6. Lastly, I'm going to check my answer. So 4 times d plus 8 is equal to negative 16. Instead of d, I have negative 6. So you can do this by hand. 4 times negative 6 plus 8 equals negative 16. Or you can put this in your calculator and see what you get. Exactly the way you have it written on your paper. 4 parentheses negative 6 plus 8. And it gives me negative 16. So negative 16 is equal to negative 16. That is true, so we did this problem correctly. Taking a look at number 4. Number 4 is very similar. Don't call me after midnight. D stands for distribute. I don't have any parentheses. Combine like terms. I don't see any like terms on the left side, 6 and 3c. And I don't see any like terms on the right side, so I don't need to combine like terms. Move the variable. The variable is only in one place, so it does not need to move. Add or subtract. So looking for integers, numbers without variables, constants, that need to be added or subtracted to be moved away from the variable. This 6, I can get rid of it. I can cancel it out. It's positive, so the opposite is to subtract. We have a positive 6, so we subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. That cancels out. But if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Negative 15 minus 6 is negative 21. And I carry down, but take a look. This is minus 3c, or in other words, negative 3c. So I'm going to carry down the negative as well. Negative 3c is equal to negative 21. I did my addition subtraction. Don't call me after midnight. The last step is multiply or divide. I have negative 3c, which we know is multiplication. The opposite is division, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1c, or in other words, just c. It's like that cancels out. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Negative 21 divided by negative 3 is positive 7. Check your work. 6 minus 3c is equal to negative 15. But instead of c, I am checking my answer, which was 7. And again, you can do this really quickly on your calculator. 6 minus 3 times 7. 6 minus 3 times 7, exactly the way we have it written on our paper. And we get negative 15. So negative 15 is equal to negative 15. That is a true statement. We did this problem correctly. Moving on to the back, we're going to move through these a little quicker. Number 5. 3/4 a plus 16 is equal to 10. I am thinking through my steps. Don't call me after midnight. Here's my variable. I don't see any parentheses, so I don't need to distribute. Combine like terms. There are no like terms on the left side. There are no like terms on the right side. Don't need to combine like terms. Move the variable. The variable is only in one place. You don't need to move the variable. Addition or subtraction. So remember, we're trying to move things away from the variable. Close to my variable, I have plus 16. So the opposite of plus is minus. 16 minus 16 is 0. That cancels out, and I have to do it to the other side. 10 minus 16 is negative 6. And I'm going to carry down my 3/4 a. I took care of addition or subtraction. Last, I have multiply, divide. I have 3/4 times a. We know the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm dividing by 3/4. Do not let these fractions scare you, because we can do this in our calculator. Negative 6 divided by 3/4. Negative 6 divided by. You can do, to get a fraction, alpha y equals, and get a fraction, 3/4. Or if your calculator is a little older, you can use parentheses around your fraction. 3/4 is the same as 3 divided by 4. Close parentheses, this would give you the same thing. So 6 divided by 3/4 gives us negative 8. A is equal to negative 8. It is so quick to check my answer, I don't know why I wouldn't. I'm going to go back and see if I get the correct answer when I plug it in. A is equal to negative 8. So 3/4 times negative 8 plus 16. I can do this really quickly on my calculator. 3/4 times negative 8 plus 16 gives me 10, which is exactly what I was supposed to get. So that tells me